you know what time it is?
It's 4 in the morning, and I was sleeping.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. What?
It's not 4 in the morning.
Then what time is it?
It's time for Big Fat Vegan Radio! Yay! Woohoo!
Hey everyone, welcome to Big Fat Vegan Radio. We're podcasting from New York City to discuss veganism in all of its glory. I'm here with Ben Strothman, also known as Honey LeBronx, everyone's favorite vegan drag queen.
And I'm here with Laura Yaz, vegan writer and entertainment know-it-all. You can check us out on Twitter and Facebook by searching for Big Fat Vegan Radio.
We've got a great show today, so let's get to it. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Laura. What did you have for dinner last night?
Last night, it was my friend's birthday, so I went to a restaurant that I probably wouldn't normally go to. For my rule, like my personal rule for myself, is that I never mention that there needs to be vegan options at the restaurant if it's someone's birthday, because I feel like they should get to go wherever they want because it's their birthday and I'll just show up and I can just eat a salad if there's nothing. Mm-hmm. And I looked online at the menu first, and it actually seemed like it was going to be okay because it was a pizza place and they had some traditional Italian-style pizza with no cheese on it. So anyway, I ended up I had a mixed green salad, which was really nice. And then I had, I got just the marinara pizza, which is just a thin crust oven pizza, like wood burning oven pizza with a really, really herby marinara sauce on it, like tons of oregano. And it was really delicious and it was really great. So
I will accept herby as an adjective.
It was really herby.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was great. I mean, I was really pleased with actually how many options there ended up being. I also got like a side of mushrooms or something. It was great.
Oh,
it was delicious. What did you have for dinner last night, Ben?
It's funny you should ask. Last night, I went to this place near Rockefeller Center called Bill's Burger. I think Bill's Burger and Bar or Bill's Burger, whatever. Bill's Burger, basically. And it's a place I've avoided going to before because a big group of guys goes there, and I had to call this place once to make a reservation for like a large group. And I asked them, they have a veggie burger on the menu. It's vegan if you get it without the cheese. And nice. I asked them, I said, look, is it cooked on the same grill as meat? And they said yes. And I'm like, I'm vegan. There's a few other vegans in the group. Would you be willing to cook it on its own grill? And they're like, not on its own grill, but like I've worked at a restaurant before. They just put it in a separate pan,
if they're not grilled burgers, if they're pan-fried burgers, which a lot of burgers are fried in restaurants.
Well, basically, I don't know. But basically, you could just grab a pan, put it on the same grill or put it over a flame, and they said, no, we would not be willing to do that. Like, basically, every level of management I checked with confirmed that, yes, although we could do that, we are not willing to make that accommodation.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah, so I was really reticent to go to this place last night, and a friend of mine who runs a restaurant, not vegan at all, but he, is sympathetic to my...
In the business.
Yeah, he's in the biz. He's sympathetic to my plight. And he said, tell them this. Tell them you are deathly allergic to red meat. Now, right off the bat, I never want to do that because just like Colleen Patrick Goudreau once said, I feel like the ethical reasoning should be sufficient.
Well, I'm also going to argue that you're a guest in the restaurant and what you want should be enough. My mother always says to people that she's allergic to cilantro, which she's not, but she shouldn't have to because as a patron of the establishment, she should just be able to say, I don't want cilantro in my food. I'm asking you. I hate it. I'm paying for this meal. You should leave it out. It's the same thing for what you're saying. You're a guest. You're asking for something to be prepared a certain way.
Yeah.
You shouldn't have to say, like, it's going to kill me if you don't do it.
And plus, cilantro, interesting tidbit of fact here, it's fucking nasty. So there's that.
No, it's not, Ben. There's a genetic thing that's wrong with people who don't like cilantro.
No, it's not that. I used to like cilantro. We're way on a tangent, but
I'm pro cilantro, okay?
Big fat tangent
really pro
radio.
cilantro.
I used to love cilantro. My Uncle Gary grew it fresh in his garden, in his backyard. And as a child, I didn't know that cilantro, which I loved, was not like something you eat like spinach. It's more an herb than a green.
It is an herb, yeah.
Right. So I took several leaves of cilantro and put it on one piece of food. And I overdosed on cilantro, and now it's just an association. I can't stand that taste because it once overwhelmed me.
What if it's in something? Does it bother you if it's like in a salsa?
If I detect it, it's not a big deal, but like I don't like any strong notes of cilantro. And here's the thing. I
love cilantro.
I will still use cilantro, but I try to avoid it. I wish I could name the play. If I can find it, I'll put it in the show notes. But there's this one play where they're at a dinner party, and this one woman is like, cilantro. It tastes like metal, but in a good way. I find that funny. But anyway, so my friend told me, back to Bill's Burger.
Did you say you were allergic?
Here's what I said. First off, I was talking to my roommate Caldwell, a.k.a. Kitten with a Whip, about this. And I'm like, look, I don't want to ever say I'm allergic. I want to say I'm ethically opposed. But this is what Caldwell said. Caldwell said, look, in the restaurant biz, cooks hate vegans.
Yeah, they do.
And chefs hate everyone.
Yeah, they do.
So I know from experience, they're not necessarily going to care if I say, oh, I'm ethically opposed. I choose not to have. I say no to animal products. They're just going to be like, screw you in the horse that you probably did not ride in on. Oh, that's a good one. I forgot how funny I am. Anyway.
The horse that I would never ride in on.
Right. I'm going to pat myself in the back. That is the sound of Honey LeBronx's back being pat. So, anywho, but the thing is, I realize that if I just say I'm opposed, they're not going to. So my friend told me, tell them you are deathly allergic, because everyone's ears prick up. They don't want a lawsuit on their hands. Tell them you're ethically opposed, and tell them you need it cooked in the broiler. Because the only way to cook it in the broiler is to put it on its own separate plate or sheet or what have you.
Amen.
So 3 of us at a table of 4 of us each ordered veggie burgers. They broiled all of them for us, and it was fine, and we had a lovely dinner.
Oh, well, that's how nice.
Yeah.
You said you were deathly allergic, though.
I said I was deathly allergic.
Who's allergic to red meat? Is that even possible?
I don't know.
I feel like if I was a waiter and a customer said that, I would be like, you are lying.
Yeah. He's like, you are a big, fat vegan liar is what you are.
But that's not your fault if all the managers were like, refusing. That's weird.
Well, right, and even though I called ahead,
you give the customer what they want, people. That's what the restaurant business is about.
Last I checked, I mean, I haven't checked in a while, but last time I checked, this is America.
America.
So in America, what America stands for is I should get what I want and no one should get in my way. It's the Republican way.
Well, especially at a restaurant. Restaurants exist to serve you.
Exactly.
I know that sounds terrible. I've worked in the restaurant industry for over 10 years. I can say that. Right. I'm over it. I used to get upset when people asked for things a weird way. It's your job to do it that weird way that they want. Just do it.
And I have to say, the waiter, his name was Jason, absolutely accommodating every step of the way. And I have to say, when I finished placing my order, I'm like, no cheese, no this, no that. Don't let it touch red meat. And can I have a little bit of bacon on it? And he gave me a look like he knew I was kidding. So anyway.
Well, thanks, Jason.
Yes, thank you, Jason, at Bill's Burger at Rockefeller Center. You were an absolute gentleman and kind of handsome. So there's that.
Oh, how nice.
Yeah. So we are talking about all things big, fat, and vegan here. So I guess for some of our listeners, I've had a couple of people like, what do you mean big, fat, vegan? And I guess I should clarify. Laura, may I?
Please.
Basically, the first time I've heard this was, my big fat Greek wedding. And there's an off-Broadway play, My Big Fat Italian Wedding, or My Big Italian, whatever. And it's just an expression that I've always, heard used to show enthusiasm or oomph or zest for life. And I don't know a single vegan who's not incredibly enthusiastic about being vegan, who's not incredibly enthusiastic about animal rights and about their food and just about being vegan. Or or especially meeting another vegan. I mean, if I could be on the subway and someone could step on my feet and tell me I'm ugly, and then they could be like, "Oh, I'm vegan," and I'm like, "You're vegan? You're my new best friend. Please stay in touch with me." But I get desperate. I'll be like, "You're vegan? Please stay in touch. Please stay in touch. Tweet me, Facebook me. We gotta be friends forever."
It's true. Or if someone you know and love goes vegan.
Mm-hmm.
So exciting.
Oh my God, yeah. When you went vegan, I was so excited. And I've told you this before, but I haven't told America. I was so nervous that, like, you were going to let go. You were going to fall off the bandwagon. That you were going to be like, yeah, I'm just not vegan anymore. I'm always such a stage mother when someone else goes vegan. Like, I want to support. Like, I feel like it's my responsibility to keep them vegan. And the fact that I did not have to keep you vegan tells me a lot about how it's just someone's individual journey. And it's really, no one ever made me vegan or made me do this. I got to find it for myself. And I think that's what it should be for everyone.
I remember you saying, you said that you thought, I was gonna, that you were gonna turn around for 5 minutes and then turn back and I'd be roasting a pig on a spit.
But, and just to conclude, what is Big Fat Vegan? I mean, like, since going vegan, a little over 2 years ago, almost 2.5 years now, I have probably not, to my knowledge, had a single meal or a single morsel or bite of food that I did not get excited about.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
I love that what you said, that thing you said about how every time you have something new that's vegan, or every time you're presented with some vegan item of food, that just every single time it's Christmas morning.
Yes, exactly.
It's so true. That's like, so right on. Like every time someone's like, "Here, try these vegan cookies," I'm like, "Oh my God, these are the best cookies I've ever had." Yeah,
exactly. And I mean, I guess
if they're good. I mean, if they're bad, I don't have that reaction.
I mean, I don't know if I have that reaction to like peanut butter toast in the morning, but I mean, like, pretty much, every single thing.
But peanut butter toast is delicious.
Well, it's peanut butter toast, especially when it's heated a little bit, so like the peanut butter kind of melts. I mean, ever since going vegan, it has been, for me, a love affair with food. And I can't speak for all vegans, but you and I both know, you look around and every vegan has this sick relationship with food where everything they eat is orgasmic. And I just never had that before I went vegan.
Yeah, food is exciting.
It's exciting.
And you do develop a new relationship with food. I developed a whole new relationship with cooking because before I was vegan, I was really afraid to cook because I always messed up cooking meat. I always did it wrong.
Oh my God.
And I was always raw and stuff, and I always hated handling raw meat and stuff. I never wanted to cook. I just wanted to eat out. Yeah. And if I did cook, it was like rice-a-roni or something very easy from a package. Yeah. And then as soon as I became vegan, I started cooking all the time. And it's like this total joy in cooking for me now because it feels like I'm not going to die if I mess up the food. Yeah, exactly. Isn't that hilarious? That's so true, though. You can kill yourself if you mess up your meal if you're cooking chicken. It's I'm not going to kill myself if I eat half a bowl of blueberry muffin batter. I'm allowed.
I like that you had the decency to stop yourself at half of a bowl, and you're like, I just can't eat a whole bowl of batter.
Well, I want some muffins,
that's
too.
That's not prudent. But, you're right about that. What's funny is, who did I learn this from? There's a raw vegan athlete by the name of Tim Van Orden. His website is runningraw.com, and he talks about heterocyclic amines. I don't know if that's the name of it, but when you cook meat of any kind, when you cook it, first off, we're the only animal that if we eat animals, we heat it up first, because we can't digest it. Otherwise, it would make us ill. But when you cook meat, you chemically alter it, and it forms these, basically it forms carcinogenic toxins, basically things that are very, very bad for you. So cooking animal flesh is terrible and causes cancer. But if you don't...
Yeah, and you have to put all this stuff on it to mask the flavor of the corpse.
Yeah, exactly.
What you're doing.
You put plants
great
on it.
Meat is cooked in such a way that it doesn't taste like it's a dead animal.
Exactly. But if you don't cook it enough, then you can also die from it. And yeah. So there. I'm glad I'm vegan.
Me too. Also, I think that the whole idea of, I know that for me, that Big Fat Vegan title for me also, like you said, with the Big Fat Greek Wedding, and also I know it was a big gay ice cream truck and stuff like that. I always think of these gregarious, outgoing, fun people, which is I think what we are and what
Right.
we want to, that's definitely what we want people to think of.
Yeah. And for me, as a gay man, that's always afforded me a certain community of peers. Like being gay, when you find your gays, it's like, oh my God, here's my community. Being a drag queen, when I find other drag queens, or if I'm out with someone, I find out we both do drag, it's another community. And the fact that like, oh my God, you like bacon double cheeseburgers? I like bacon double cheeseburgers has never afforded me a community.
Definitely.
But I have a family among the vegan, world out there. I mean, short little side story here. When I moved from Brooklyn into this apartment, a friend of mine who's not necessarily vegan, he's vegetarian with vegan aspirations, let me borrow his car for an entire weekend. Because he's like, well, I don't need it. You're moving. Use my car for a whole weekend. I had met this person maybe twice.
Oh, how funny.
And he's like, here, use my car. You're a vegan. It's amazing how there's a feel of family among the vegan community.
It's just a connection,
Yeah.
and also it also in a lot of ways means you share beliefs, which I think really bonds people.
Yes. Yeah. Laura, would you like to get into some news with me?
Let's talk about the news.
So there are a lot of things going on in the news, and some of these things make me purr, and some of these things make me hiss.
Ooh, look out for those claws, girl.
The claws are coming out, girl. I swear to God. So, Laura, what makes you hiss? What makes you purr?
Do you want me to start with the good news or the bad news?
Let's see. I think we have been optimistic enough to this point. Let's get down and dirty. Hiss at me, girl.
Alrighty. What's made me hiss this last month is PCRM, which is oh my God, I don't know the name of that acronym.
Isn't it like the Physicians Committee for Responsible Medicine?
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
PCRM has a few ad campaigns that I'm totally pissed off about. The first is a ad campaign, which is like billboards and print ads, and it's pictures of like a humongous thigh, right, with like cellulite and just like an obese thigh, and someone's like clutching it like to make it look worse, and then next to the thigh it says your thigh's on cheese. And then same thing with like a stomach, your abs on cheese. Mm-hmm. Now, the second ad is a video ad. You can watch it. It's a million places online, and it's called the vegan. I think it's the sit next to vegan is the commercial.
Yes.
It's the airline ad where this guy is sitting next to this really obese person and acting like it's really putting him out. Then another really obese person walks in to sit next to this other guy, and the guy looks at the really obese person and says, oh, I paid for the vegan option. Mm-hmm. And then this like thin blonde woman waltzes in and sits next to him and then starts yakking at him about veganism, like in this super annoying way.
Yeah.
And then they say that just for $10, you can upgrade your seat and sit next to a vegan. I don't understand what any of these ads are supposed to accomplish. I think they're totally offensive and just fat shaming, and especially the your thighs on cheese. I find those really upsetting. Like, some people, no matter what their health, no matter what they eat, no matter what, are going to have big thighs. I mean, everybody is different. Everybody's body is different. It has nothing to do with your diet. Also, I don't think that we need to I'm so sick of selling health on veganism. I'm not interested in selling health. I understand that it's healthy. You can live a very healthful way on a vegan diet, but I don't care about that, and that's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in the ethics. I want people to be selling that.
Right.
I don't know why we're appealing to people's vanity instead of appealing to their compassion, and it really bothers me. I just don't agree with it. It's upsetting to me, the fat shaming thing, because also I'll just say that I can, off the top of my head, name like 5 of my friends who are probably like razor thin, look perfect in practically every way, and they eat like garbage.
Right.
So don't, thin is not the answer. It's not about how you look. Also, it's a larger problem with our society. We need to accept the way we look. Everybody's body is different, blah, blah, blah. So PCRM, you're getting a hiss from me.
So I need to hear you purr at something after that. I feel like I want to say if I were PCRM, I feel like they are somewhere hanging their head in shame. So
You don't want to make my hiss list.
because your hiss is on my list.
Because your hiss. All right, so we're talking about what that little scratch behind my ear.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I want to say that I've been really thrilled with the New York Times in the last 2 months, which is March and April.
Mm-hmm.
They've had a plethora of amazing articles that are really just getting animal welfare into people's brains and talking about animal foods. And they're just incredible. So I just wanted to mention a few of them. A couple of them are from Mark Bittman, who really seems to be real. I think that he is really, I think he's going to go vegan. I don't know. The way he's writing, he's really thinking about it. He's really putting these things together. So then there's a couple other ones that are from authors who are absolutely not vegan, but they have this great, particularly the one about eggs, which is by the author's name is Christoph. I mean, he's like totally, I mean, honestly, mostly he seems like a jerk to me. That sounds terrible. I don't know him, but I'm just shocked at his article. It's great. So, I mean, I definitely read all of these and share them. And then tell the New York Times you want more because it's great.
Yeah.
So these articles are The Myth of Sustainable Meat, Is an Egg for Breakfast Worth This? Chicken Without Guilt, The Human Cost of Animal Suffering. That one's really great. Mm-hmm. Arsenic in Our Chicken, and Mangled Horses, Maimed Jockeys.
Wow.
So just check out all of those. They're great. And so I'm just thrilled. I don't know what's happening over at the New York Times, but I'm just thrilled with these articles lately. And I wanted to say that the New York Times is making me purr.
We'll include a link to those articles in the show notes, and this is perhaps a bit off topic, but we wonder why this is spreading and whatnot. I just feel like veganism is spreading. I mean, it's a movement that is catching on so much. I mean, you talk to people who've been vegan for 20 years, and it's like, wow, you were vegan in the dark ages back when no one was vegan, when it wasn't easy to do. I mean, one of the things that makes people so reluctant, I've always said that the reason people don't go vegan is fear. Primarily fear that they're going to be inconvenienced, or fear
and the fear of being different.
Well, I never thought of that. You're right. The fear of being inconvenienced, the fear of being different, and the fear of being deprived. I
know for me, a lot of the fear had to do with like going to a partner's family's house for a holiday, being at a wedding, and just not being able to participate. That stuff is scary.
Yes.
Being different is scary.
I can imagine how that might be different for people, but I have to say I live for that shit. I live for being that guy. It's like Colleen Patrick Goudreau says, there's a lot of power being the vegan in the room. I love when people look around and they notice like, oh, you're not eating, oh no, I don't eat animals. I do love being, I'll say my fear that I would be inconvenienced, it proved to be, just fear.
Yeah, I've found that it's all been much easier than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Every situation is less challenging than I had imagined.
Right, and and especially if you prepare and I will say there's a learning curve going vegan, maybe a 2-3 week learning curve, but you get into it, you get excited about it. I didn't march into veganism begrudgingly. I was really excited about doing it, and as time went on, it to me it's as natural as breathing. But with that said, I've never felt inconvenienced and I've never felt deprived. But yes, I have felt different as a vegan. There have been a few rare occasions where someone has gotten really indignant about it. But the awesome thing is, because veganism is also my hobby at this point, I'm researched. I know what I'm talking about. I was once on a set of a film that I was an extra on. And this one girl ahead of me in line heard me talking about veganism, whipped around and thought she was going to come for me. She thought she was going to be like, well, blah, 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 and blah, 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 and you can't live on a vegan diet. All vegans die. You can't survive on it. Sooner or later, your body needs meat or you'll die. This girl tried to come for me, and first off, something in me just, I had this violent reaction, but it doesn't come out of me that way. I was just able to stand in my truth, be calm, and also we had an audience. There was 3 other actors watching us like they were watching a tennis match, and they even someone who could not hear could see that this girl was heated and angry and defensive, and I was calm and collected. And I was able to defend my stance. You know, I live for those moments because whether someone's... that probably would have been me a few years ago before I went vegan. I probably would have had the same ignorance and tried to defend my ignorance just as violently.
That's true.
You know?
The conversation is definitely changing, though, because I feel like I frequently have an unwarranted reaction when someone asks a question. Like, I was at a party where I didn't know that many people... And there was potato chips on the table, and I picked up the barbecue bag to check the label because a lot of times barbecue chips has something random in it.
Right.
And I was like, dang it. And I put it down because it had, I don't know, something in it. And this man I'd never met said to me, wait, are you vegan? And I totally prickled and like got pissed off just because I felt like he was going to get in my face about it.
Yeah.
And then he goes, can I ask you a question? Because we're going to a vegan friend's house for a dinner party, and we wanted to bring something. And I was like, oh my God,
Yes.
my reaction is totally rude, and you're
Yes.
being totally nice. I had like the big mad eyes.
Yes. What?
It's like, what do you want?
I love it. I feel like... I wish I could say I coined this term. You know how you think of something original, but then you Google it to find someone else already thought of it?
Yeah.
I feel like I coined the term vegan enthusiasm only to find it's already out there. But
I feel
still,
like you did too. Who was claiming that before you?
someone, you know what? Someone got to Google with it before I did. So, but I still feel like vegan enthusiasm is a thing, and it spreads. You know, like I get so enthusiastic about being vegan, and yes, it spreads among vegans, but among the non-vegans that I know, they sense the joy that I have as a vegan. They sense the enthusiasm I have for what I'm doing. I feel like when people get in the vicinity of my vegan enthusiasm, they get a sense of what it must feel like to live liberated from the guilt of contributing to an inherently violent and corrupt system. You know, I think people can sense my joy of being a vegan, and they want what I have. Mm-hmm. So vegan enthusiasm, people, it's spreading. Get into it.
It is. I mean, I read recently that the number of vegans, people who identify as vegan in the last year has doubled.
Basically, yeah. I think I heard about that.
And I believe that. I feel like it's catching.
I think I heard that on our hen house. Like, it was like 1%, and then like a year or so later, it was
2.5.
2.5, yeah. So, I mean, that's more than doubled. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, Ben,
Yes.
why don't you tell me what is making you hiss?
I can't even, because I'm too angry about it. Well, my good friend Rachel K, who has been vegan forever. You can find her on the Twitter. Her name on Twitter is Sweet Serenity, spelled just like it sounds, except no Y in Serenity. It's 3 E's instead of a Y. Sweet Serenity EE. Rachel K, who's been vegan, I think, 17 years. And may I say, she's not my hiss, by the way. I love Rachel K. But I won't say who, but I recently met a vegan who's been vegan for like 8 or 9 years, and she's like, oh yeah, after a while, don't worry, you're not so excited about it after a while. You know, she was basically telling, like, kind of. Yeah, she was basically knocking my vegan enthusiasm and my activism, saying like,
obviously she doesn't know you.
She was trying to tell me how, like, after you're vegan for a while, you don't care about being an activist, that you don't get as excited about the animal cause, that you're just vegan and it's boring. Well,
she sounds like a jerk.
She was a...
Anyway, but your case in point is that Rachel K is the walking
Rachel
proof that is BS.
has been vegan twice as long as this girl, and I witnessed Rachel K rescuing chickens from slaughter with her own bare hands. That might sound like I'm joking or exaggerating. I saw her literally rescuing chickens with her bare hands and driving them to Farm Sanctuary.
She is the walking, talking proof that other girl doesn't know what she's
There
saying.
are those who walk the walk. There are those who talk the talk. Rachel K, I mean, this girl's amazing. We need to buy her a Wonder Woman cape, because she's my vegan Wonder Woman.
With a V on it.
That said, Rachel K posted, and it's not hers, but it came to my attention through her Facebook wall. She posted this photo that's kind of going around the little blogosphere, a photo titled 8 Foods You Didn't Know Contained Meat. Now, just so our listeners can actually check this out, I made a link. If you go to tinyurl.com/notvegan, you will see a picture, and it shows us the 8 foods that you didn't know contain meat. For example, barbecue baked Lays. They contain natural flavors. Now, you know, people can list natural flavors in the ingredients, and you have no way of knowing what they are because they're not required by law to disclose those natural flavors.
Yeah, because it's about how small the amount is of the natural flavor that's in there. And so, I mean, I know I always try to just not get anything that says natural flavors on it.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, it can be anything.
Yeah. Well, in this case, barbecue baked Lays, which I may have thought were vegan, they contain chicken. Chicken is the natural flavor.
Yeah, because they probably use chicken flavor.
Yep. And this I already knew, but Worcestershire sauce contains anchovies. I know.
And then also as a side note to that Worcestershire sauce thing, you want to know that most bars put Worcestershire sauce in a Bloody Mary.
Yeah.
So if you're going to get a Bloody Mary, they're usually not vegan. You have to make sure they don't put Worcestershire sauce in it.
Exactly. This I didn't know, and I'm devastated. Minute Maid juices.
No, just the ones that are fortified with vitamin D.
Yes. They're fortified juices. Their vitamin D is derived from lanolin, which is basically it's the oil secreted by sheepskin. Side note, if you ever run out of lip balm, okay, I went to Whole Foods. Laura Yaz she showed me a vegan lip balm that she had. I went to Whole Foods, could not find it. What was the lip balm?
You know, I have like 15 lip balms on me at all times.
Yes.
I think the one I showed you was Alba, the coconut one.
Alba. Okay. Good to know. I went there, couldn't find it. But you want to know what the original vegan lip balm is?
Olive oil?
Nope. Men's Health Magazine. You can't see this, but I always make the sign of the cross when I say Men's Health Magazine. It's a habit I can't break myself of, and I like doing it because people react really weird when I do that. Men's Health Magazine said if you are without lip balm and your lips are chapped, if you just take your finger and just scrape it along your forehead, all those oils you get on your finger.
Oh, I'm gonna barf.
All those oils you get on your finger. First off, it's the best thing to put on your lips because it's immediately absorbed in your body. It contains...
Not everyone has oily skin. If I did that and then put it on my lips, it would not do shit.
And I have to say, if Honey LeBronx did that and wiped it on her lips, she would have to go right home and wash her face because it wouldn't look pretty. But there you go. Basically, if you like oily skin from sheeps, go ahead and drink some Minute Maid fortified vitamin D juices.
You shouldn't be drinking orange juice that's pasteurized anyway.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up. I almost bought some last night because it was on sale for 69 cents, but please tell us why we should not drink pasteurized juice.
It's actually bad for your body.
How so?
Well, it's because the fruit is cooked, which damages... I mean, we could get into this whole thing. I'm a believer in the... Not everybody believes this, too. I should say that. Because there's different arguments as far as nutrition goes, but I'm a believer in the fruit on an empty stomach so that it can, be digested unaffected so it doesn't spoil in your stomach. That's basically what pasteurization does, is it spoils the orange juice. So you're drinking spoiled orange juice. Yeah. So it's not good for you. And if you ever have fresh squeezed orange juice, you're like, why does this taste so good? It's because it's not spoiled. Yeah. We're literally used to spoiled orange juice. You shouldn't drink, look, other pasteurized juices I think aren't as bad for you as orange. Orange is particularly bad. You're just drinking straight sugar. It actually,
acid.
The fruit is actually bad for you at that point because it's in such bad shape. It's been so wrecked. And so if you're going to drink orange juice, get a juicer and juice an orange. It's just so much better for you and you'll feel the difference, taste the difference.
If you just get a couple of oranges, one glass of orange juice, grab, 3-4 oranges, squeeze them out, treat yourself, And orange juice shouldn't be there's this, I forget who, but someone posted on their Facebook, like things I learned about being vegan. And one of the things they learned is, look, if you look at a nut, it's protected by this really hard shell, right? Maybe that's nature's way of saying you're not meant to have huge handfuls of them. You're meant to have only a few.
That's funny.
If you have to squeeze 5 oranges to get 1 glass of juice, maybe you weren't meant to drink 15 glasses of juice in a week. Maybe it's meant to be an occasional treat.
Oh, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Because the easiest things to eat, of course, are hand fruit that you pick off a tree, right?
Right.
And that's the best thing for you.
Yeah.
I'm a huge fruit person. I would totally be a fruitarian.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I do that sometimes, just eat fruit all the time. I'm a huge fruit person.
And I'm a huge fruit, so there's that.
Oh, my God, that must be why I love you.
Well, so, and as with that said, I have to say, I'm not going to say I've never had pasteurized orange juice since you told me that, but you got all up in my brain, and it's kind of hard to forget what I've learned about that. I must say, one thing I've started doing, because I heard that grapefruit juice helps melt away fat, I buy about a dozen grapefruits like every week, and I juice them, and I keep it in my fridge. Because I use a masticating juicer, it doesn't oxygenate the juice, so you can keep it for a lot longer.
Yeah, the other thing I wanted to say is, I said get a juicer really flippantly. You don't have to get like a big old fancy, we'll juice anything juiced, or if you want to have fresh squeezed orange juice, they have really simple, cheap ones for citrus juicing that are like $20 probably.
Well, it's not even a juicer. It's not even a machine. You just get one of those little glass trays.
Yeah, you can get one of those. Yeah, those are probably
But
totally
so
cheap.
just to finish out this list of things that aren't vegan, Altoids, gelatin that's made from animal skin and bones, curiously strong. Yeah, curious. Guinness beer. A lot of beers are not vegan. A lot of wines are not vegan because they use isinglass, which is basically used to clarify it, to make it clearer, which is
But you can get a list of things that are on barnivore.com, which is a really great resource.
We got to include that in the show notes. Say it once more. What is it?
Barnivore. Barnivore.
Oh, like going to a bar. Barnivore. I love it.
Yeah, barnivore. It's great. It's just like you can just check and see if your favorite beer is on there, or like but it's really extensive.
Yeah. Well, and also just to finish the list, Smarties. Apparently, the purple Smarties are dyed using carmine, which, as some people might know, carmine is a red food coloring. It's known as red number 4, which is
a lot of red candy,
and it's made from the crushed up shells from beetle-like insects. And lastly on this list, I don't even know why this is on here, but Parmesan cheese and Velveeta cheese.
Because a lot of people don't know what rennet is.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, okay, so people who are vegetarian might be like, oh, well, it's cheese, I eat cheese. But they should know that Parmesan is made with rennet, which is basically made from the stomachs of newborn calves.
Yeah, if you want to be grossed out about cheese, just learn how it's made.
Right.
It's disgusting.
And Kraft also uses animal enzymes, again, that comes from the stomachs of
Velveeta.
calves. It's just, Velveeta, yeah. So that's disgusting. And those are my hisses. Hiss to all of those nasty-ass foods that I would never eat. And some of them that I used to, but I will now avoid thanks to that list. And you can see that list at tinyurl.com/notvegan. Can I say what's making me purr?
Please. Let me scratch you behind your ear right there.
Oh, I love it. I felt that. That's strange. So, my good friend Christopher Dallman, I grew up with him in Wisconsin. I was from Milwaukee. He was from Bayside, but somewhere around there. He is a singer-songwriter. It was so awesome because growing up together, like he would always play at all the coffee shops in Milwaukee, and for whatever reason, every time he did, the coffee shop was packed.
It's probably because he's great.
With people he didn't even know. Packed coffee houses to come listen to him play gigs. He heard stories about girls at other high schools using songs of his as their audition songs for the school musical.
Oh, how funny.
And like people would come up to him and ask him for sheet music. He's an amazing, if there's vegan enthusiasm, there's Chris Dallman enthusiasm. Like people get really excited about him. And if you go to cjdmusic.com, anyway, he moved to New York around the same time I did. And then a while ago, he moved to LA where he's this hugely successful singer-songwriter. He's touring, he's living the dream. Well, anyway, he has this album called Sad Britney, which is a cover of it's all these Britney Spears covers, but they're beautiful. Like they're really beautiful songs, like songs of Britney's that I've never liked. I actually love the way he covers them because it gives them so much more depth and meaning than they ever really had. He made a video for Toxic, the Britney Spears song, which he covers. And he made a website called thisistoxic.com. And he asked his fans, he's like, look, I'm going to make this music video, but I want it to be an interactive music video which contains your feedback. So send me pictures or videos or YouTube links that show what is toxic in your life. Now, sort of being serious, but sort of being just a vegan smartass, I just linked him to Earthlings on YouTube, and I'm like, here, how's this for toxic? Now, I don't know off the top of my head if Chris Dallman is vegan or vegetarian, or if he's tried either, or if he's considering going in that direction. Maybe I think he's one of my friends who at some point told me, hey, I'm vegan. I don't know if that's still the case. Chris, if you're listening, we'd love for you to come on the show at some point and chat about that if that's...
And we'd love it if you were vegan.
We would love it if you were vegan, absolutely. But you will get right down to it. But anyway, so when the video finally came out, I checked it, and here, okay, in the back of my head, I mean, Earthlings is not the easiest thing to watch.
Oh, God, no.
That is like saying Hitler was a little naughty. But... that's a line from Queer as Folk, the original British version. Anyway.
No, Ellen, in an interview once, said that Earthlings makes Food Inc. look like a Disney movie.
It does.
Yeah.
I love when people are like, have you seen Food Inc.? And I want to say like, fuck Food Inc.
Yeah, it's like Food Inc. Police.
Yeah, exactly. But so I'm watching this video and I'm like, all right, you know, I'm going to see if he incorporated any footage from Earthlings. And like, hey, if he includes like a 1.5 second snippet, I'll be happy. Well, I'm watching, and a few seconds into it, there's footage of the still alive cow with its throat slit, shackled by one leg on a conveyor.
Yeah, it's pretty early in the video.
Pretty early in the video. Like, bam, we're going to hit you right over the head with it. We're jumping right into it. And I mean, and he showed that, and I'm like, oh, wow, he used it. He used it. Well, later in the video... Now there's the chickens. I think it was the footage of the guy like hitting the chickens with a crowbar, and then later it was something else. He went through just about every single animal. You know,
it's really peppered through the video.
Yeah, way to work in your plant-based foods there. It is peppered indeed throughout the video. Let's hear it for Christopher Dallman.
We love you, Christopher.
Show us your boobs. Yeah. I'm really happy. You know, he has a huge fan base, and just the people who are going to be exposed to this and then it might make them think for a second. I just have to give a huge purr to Christopher Dallman for being so brave to include something like that. So that's wonderful. And again, you can check out the video at thisistoxic.com. It's literally 3 different music videos that you watch simultaneously, and you can choose which one you want to focus on mainly. It's really futuristic. But because of that, it takes a little while for the website to load. So be patient, give it time. It's well worth it. He's also super crush-worthy, handsome, so you're going to enjoy watching him. So that said, I do have one semi-purr/hiss, and I'll try to be quick about it, but this is, if anyone knows anything about me, they know that a cause so near and dear to my heart is I'm in it to win it, to ban the horse-drawn carriage industry in New York City and across the world. Amen. But I have to say, I have a purr for New York State Senator Tony Avella, because we really have, despite the overuse of this term, we have no horse heroes here in New York City. There's one organization that will call anyone and their mother a horse hero just for saying, yay, ban the industry, when they really do nothing about it. However, we all know it's really hard for us to do anything about the horse carriage industry, because City Councilwoman Christine Quinn, who is in Mayor Bloomberg's back pocket, she's basically, even though the majority of New Yorkers want to ban the industry, she's preventing us from doing that because that industry, it belongs to a union with strong ties to the Queen's Democratic machine, and it's
really corrupt. The whole thing is really corrupt,
and she needs their support to become mayor. So she is a favor to them.
It's all wound up in politics,
right? And we'll get into that more in a later episode. But anyway, Senator Tony Avella, he's the state senator, so he totally outranks her, and he is pushing for a bill. He's trying to introduce legislation, also known as Bill A7748. To ban horse-drawn carriages at the state level, and to prevent carriage horses from being sold off to kill buyers at auction, which current laws allow. Basically, people make this stupid argument like, oh, well, if the horses didn't have jobs, by the way, are a human construct. A horse doesn't have a job, it's enslaved. But they say, oh, if the horse didn't have these jobs, they'd be killed, they'd be slaughtered. These horses that you see on the streets of New York are being killed and slaughtered. When they're
Like 3 or 4 horses died this winter.
Yeah. I mean, recently there was. I wish I had this number off the top of my head, but like there was I forget which month, March or February or April, where like every single week another horse was dropping dead.
Yeah.
There was a series where like 3 weeks in a row, every week there was another horse dropping dead in the street, and no one's doing anything about it. And unfortunately, I feel like it's going to take a human life lost for us to do anything about it. But anyway, people
or some kind of huge traffic accident where a bunch of people are injured.
Right. And there's nothing to stop that from happening. But
I feel like that's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
I always feel like that's going to happen.
But I mean, people always say that if it wasn't for this industry, all these horses would be slaughtered. Well, when these horses are no longer of use to the industry, the current law allows them to be sold off at auction. And these people buy the horses because you can slaughter them and export the meat to a lot of countries where, guess what? They eat horse meat. And the thing is, the ASPCA and the horse carriage industry will try to tell you, oh, well, no, they go to loving homes. They go to loving homes. But the thing is, the law does not require anyone to prove where the horses are going. So they can say they're going to loving homes until the cows come home, I guess. But P.S., I've always wanted to do something in my life in excess until cows literally walk to my apartment and come home, and I'll know it's time to wrap it up. But anyway, this law would even prevent those horses from being sold off to auction, and like they would have to go to loving homes. So anyway, Tony Avella had this to say. He said, banning the operation of horse-drawn carriages within the city of New York is long overdue. It is simply no longer appropriate or safe for a horse carriage to operate in congested and often perilous midtown traffic. Equally as important is that we can no longer turn a blind eye to the mistreatment of these animals. The conditions they live and work under are clearly wrong and should not be tolerated. And that is why I love Senator Tony Avella. I'm just going to say I want to give the man a BJ. There you go. So with that said, if you love Honey LeBronx, and if you want to make Honey LeBronx happy, I don't care if you're in New York City. I don't care if you live outside of New York City. This bill needs the support of you, your friends, your mother and father, all your Facebook friends. We need to get the word out. When I start to speak like Susie Orman, you know I'm being serious, girlfriend. So if you go to tinyurl.com/horsebill.
One word,
tinyurl.com/horsebill. It's a list that will tell you all about this bill, how you can support it. If you live in New York State, it will tell you can call the assemblyman, you can call your senator. It will tell you exactly what to do, exactly who to email, exactly what to say. You don't need to know anything. You can be stupid and call and go to this website, and it will tell you exactly what to do. Please visit this web link. Tell your friends about it. Get them to share it. Make a Facebook event to this link, and then invite thousands of your friends. If you want to message Honey LeBronx on Facebook directly, I will tell you how to do just that. We've got to get the word out, because if we can just support this bill and get this pushed through, that we will finally shut down this industry. Something that no matter what certain groups are trying to do at the city level, it's not working. It's been ineffective. So that is my giant hiss/purr.
So we love Tony Avella.
Tony Avella.
Love you, Tony.
We love you, Tony. I owe you a BJ. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. There we go.
His name's Tony, so I'm gonna assume he likes spaghetti and lasagna, which I make really well.
You are a racist, Loriaz.
Am I? His name's Tony.
His name's...
Guy's named Tony like lasagna. You know what? I'm going to go ahead and say that I shouldn't have assumed he was Italian.
I'm assuming
what I should assume is that all people like lasagna, because they do.
Fair point.
They do.
All people like vegan lasagna.
Well, they like mine.
You know what? I haven't had yours.
It's pretty good.
We might have to do something about that.
I'd be happy to make you a lasagna.
Oh my God, I would love it.
That's fine. Come over right now. I've got noodles.
Hang on. Hold that thought right over. Do. Oh, hi, Laura. I'm in your apartment right now. How are you? What smells so good?
To oil a casserole. Excuse me.
All right. No, I mean, it smells like cat poop.
Oh, Samantha.
Wah, wah. So, Laura, we've talked about a lot of things we dislike.
We have.
Is there anything I would love to sing about?
Ben, I've never watched Oprah.
Okay, ever?
Never. What does she do when she talks about her favorite things?
I don't know, but I kind of want to sing about raindrops on roses and whiskers.
And whiskers on kittens?
Bright copper kettles and warm mittens not made of wool. We will come up with a vegan
packages
friendly.
tied up with string.
If you listen to that song, there's a lot of non-vegan references in that.
Is there?
Like schnitzel with noodles. Vegan schnitzel with noodles. And field roast. Field roast.
Yeah, field roast. Yeah, they make great sausages.
Field roast with noodles. I'm gonna veganize 2 songs. These are a few of my favorite things.
Okay.
And if you're a musical theater homo like me, the song Surrey with the fringe on top. When I take you out tonight with me, you will sit behind a team of snow white horses.
That's from Oklahoma.
Yep. They go into, you're sitting behind a team of snow white horses. The dashboard's genuine leather.
Oh my God, really? That's so funny. I've never realized that.
With isinglass curtains, you can roll right down in case there's a change in the weather. Something like, something really, really made of silk. Wouldn't have no other kind but silk, isinglass, leather, and horse cruelty, all in that song. So I want to rewrite that song. If anyone takes this idea, I already claimed it. But write the song where it's like, when you take you out tonight with me, honey, here's the way it's going to be. And she's going to be like, hell no, I'm not getting in this goddamn cruelty Surrey with the fringe on, with a cruelty on top. Anyway, I'm going to write it.
I'm excited.
With that said, let's tell our I keep wanting to say viewers, like someone can see me right now.
Yeah.
Let's tell some of our viewers about our favorite things.
All right. These are a few of our favorite things.
Mm-hmm.
This episode is going to air May 1st, so that means that Ben and I are going to tell you about our favorite things in the month of April.
Yay!
So, my number one favorite thing I got in April is Chloe Coscarelli's new cookbook, Chloe's Kitchen.
Awesome.
It is incredible.
Wait, she's the cutie patootie who won Cupcake Wars, right?
Oh my God, I'm in love with her. She's so awesome.
Can I just go ahead and say I would jump the fence for Chloe? I would switch teams for Chloe Coscarelli.
Me too.
Okay.
She is, she is the original winner of Cupcake Wars, and she is, as far as I know, the only vegan baker who won against all non-vegan bakers.
I love it.
Yeah, she's great.
Victory.
And she's also just such a doll.
Yeah.
So I went to her book signing in Bay Ridge, and I met her. I was already a really big fan of hers, not just from like watching her on Cupcake Wars, but her website, chefchloe.com, has a bunch of great recipes on it. And I had made a bunch of those recipes. Mm-hmm. And I was just dying for her cookbook to come out because I loved all her recipes I had tried so far. And it is just a phenomenal cookbook.
Wait, are there cupcakes in there?
Yes.
Girl.
Yeah, there's a whole dessert chapter. Everything is delicious. I love everything I've made. I've cooked a lot. There's also a lot I haven't cooked. And I can't wait to try more. I mean, and I would recommend it to anyone. It has 0 weird ingredients, if you know what I'm saying.
Awesome.
Like, no substitute anything. She never calls for anything that's hard to find.
No NRG egg replacer powder?
Yeah, no, awesome. Nothing like that. Nothing, everything is very common household stuff. I would say the strangest ingredient she uses is like nutritional yeast, which is not strange at all.
Right.
So, yeah, it's totally fabulous and delicious. And also, I want her to be a humongous star. So buy Chloe's Kitchen and cook from it just to tantalize people. There is a recipe for vegan fettuccine Alfredo. Book, and it is the best fettuccine Alfredo I have ever had. It is so delicious.
Amazing.
Unbelievably good. And then she has a bunch of other stuff too. Her mac and cheese is my absolute favorite. I mean, the list goes on.
I still can't believe you met her.
I know. I was so starstruck. I was embarrassed.
I feel like Honey LeBronx should have had a photo with her.
That's what it was really funny. Michael said that when he looked at me, he was like, "Look at you, you're so starstruck." And I was like, "Don't tell him."
It's funny. I used to be a Broadway press photographer. I still dabble a little bit in that. So for me, like when I leave my apartment, I know that I'm going to see a celebrity, most likely someone I've admired on Broadway since I was a kid, whose work I admire. But I get so used to seeing it that like I just don't get starstruck anymore. It's funny for me, the people I get starstruck about. Fun fact, a year and a half ago, December, I worked for 3 hours at this one restaurant where like they weren't really hiring, but they were like, "Hey, let's bring you in for 3 hours." And they basically brought me in because they knew I'm such a fan of Colleen Patrick Goudreau. I'm not sure if I've ever mentioned her before. And she was coming to the restaurant. So like basically they're like, "We're going to hire you for 3 hours just so you can be here to meet her." And if you saw me walking down you know how you can't tell who's crazy these days or who's on a Bluetooth? Like, is that man talking to himself or is there someone listening to him? I was walking down the street, and just so that I wouldn't scream in person, I was walking down the street literally, and I'm not making an analogy, I was screaming like Daffy Duck. Just because I'm like, get it out, get it out, get it out. Freaking out that I'm about to meet Colleen Patrick Goudreau. And like of all the, like, I've also met Donna McKechnie, you know, the original Cassie in Chorus Line, Tony Award winner. I've done her headshots. But meeting Colleen Patrick Goudreau, like, I was not calm, cool, and collected. Well, I also lost my shit a little bit when I met Donna McKechnie because she's the world's one and only Donna McKechnie. But anyway, there you have it.
Well, it's true. I've met Bill Murray,
What?
Stephen Dorff, Ted Danson.
Oh my God.
I mean, my list is really long because I worked for a high-end hotel for so long. Oh, yeah. Jeff Goldblum. Ethan Hawke will actually say hi to me if he sees me on the street. That's how many times I've seen him. And I was totally not as starstruck when I met any of them as I was when I met Chloe. Mm-hmm. I was totally geeked out. I was like, "I love your pasta."
You know what? You know why that is?
Because she's vegan.
It's vegan enthusiasm.
It is vegan enthusiasm.
Get into it. Get your life, girl. Get your life.
We are connected.
Mm-hmm. Through the vegan sisterhood.
Ben, what's one of your favorite things?
One of my favorite things is, oh my God. So we all know about Daya cheese.
Mm-hmm, the best.
We don't all know that it's pronounced Daya, not Daya. It's officially named Daya.
Oh yeah, I asked somebody who worked for the company, and it's on video.
It's on video. Anyway, Daya cheese just came out with wedges. Wedges, girl. Wedges.
I haven't had them. I've heard about them.
Their cheese shreds currently are cheddar, mozzarella, or pepper jack, which is amazing.
And they're all fabulous.
Well, they now have wedges, and by wedges, it's not triangular. It's like a little like cheese wheel, about 8 servings per wheel. And I wish they would make slices. Anyway, they are cheddar, jack, and Havarti. Now, the Havarti has garlic and jalapeno in it, and it's really good. The jack is amazing. Here's the thing. Here's one problem with the cheese wedges. They're not labeled as single-serving sizes, but that's sort of how I interpreted it. I ate last night an entire wedge of Havarti jalapeno garlic Daya cheese with a box of wheat thins.
And you just like took bites out of the wheel, right?
Oh no, that was the jack wheel. I like opened it. I actually got out some utensils and sliced off a little sliver. I'm like, sliced off another sliver, And then I just thought, you know what? Who am I kidding? Fuck it. And I just took big bites out of it. I mean, it's dangerous. You keep that stuff in your fridge and you're going to eat it in one sitting.
You got it at Whole Foods, right?
I got it at Whole Foods, right by the regular Daya cheese. And here's the thing. It does not taste like the Daya shreds. I know some people who don't love Daya cheese.
The Daya shreds, I'm going to go ahead and say that I think they can taste super buttery. So they're not ideal for everything.
Interesting. Good. Noted. But I know a lot of people who don't necessarily love them. But the wedges, they taste really different. And they have, first of all, my mom's freaked out by quote unquote fake anything. So she will not try fake cheese. She will not try fake whatever. And it breaks my heart.
Quote unquote fake. It's not like it's pretend.
Right. And it breaks my heart because in my family, to cook is to love someone. And I want my mom to feel my love through my cooking. And she'll never eat anything I cook that's vegan. I mean, almost nothing. But
that's a shame.
She's right. Well, you move on. But with that said, she's always said, don't you ever try to play a game on me and sneak me something that's like a fake vegan cheese or a fake vegan meat, because it would freak her out, and she's just told me that's off the table. That's not an option. Don't ever do it. With that said, if there's anything I was ever going to fool my mom with, it would be the Daya cheese wedges, because there's no way to tell that what you're eating did not come from a cow's titty.
Do you have any left?
No.
I really want to make a grilled cheese with the wedge, because the shreds make a great grilled cheese, but I feel like that wedge is going to make a phenomenal grilled cheese.
Technically, I'm still in your apartment, so we could go and get some. But yes.
We'd have to go to Whole Foods.
I have none left. My first instinct was I need to make a grilled cheese with this. I've made grilled cheese before with the shreds, but it's hard to do because of the shreds. It clumps weird.
It makes a mess.
Right. But it'll be so easy to slice and grill. And it also has a different texture than the shreds. Now, there's a firmness that dairy cheese might have in a wedge that this doesn't quite have. It's much softer and maybe doesn't hold together as well. But
it melts. Nice.
Yeah. But get you some. It's amazing stuff.
I can't wait to try them.
Yes. What is your other favorite thing?
Oh, well, this is actually a couple months ago, but I wanted to give it a shout out. Sarah Kramer has a Go Vegan iPhone app.
Holy shit.
Yeah, it's great. I think it's $4 or $5, but it's totally worth it. You get like 30 or 40 recipes.
Ooh.
Yeah, of hers. And then there's also little videos from her.
Oh, neat.
And really cute like cooking tips and tricks. And then also just like for me, because, Sarah Kramer has a bunch of cookbooks. And, I don't know which one to get, right? So this app gives you like a variety of recipes from her cookbooks, as well as some recipes that aren't in her cookbooks. Okay. So it's really cool. It's a really cool variety. Yeah. And, there's everything from, she has a couple recipes for milk, like she's got a couple nut milks, rice milk, all from scratch. And then she also has, other stuff like black bean, sweet potato burritos or pancakes. She has a great pancake recipe in there. They're like my favorite pancakes.
Oh, awesome.
And it's cool. It's all right on your phone. It sounds silly, but actually half the time I get recipes online and then I end up having to like email it to myself and read it on my iPhone while I'm cooking.
Right. I do the same thing. My mom always used to tell me when you're cooking with a recipe, first off, put it like in a sheet protector so you don't get crap all over it.
Yeah, I'm always using my phone.
But yeah, I feel like now I just use my phone for that, or I'll actually use my laptop. But what I use,
my dad has an iPad, and when I'm home and with him, I use the iPad.
Yes. I actually keep my I use Mac. I'm so thinking of switching everything from Mac over to Google because Apple's software is pissing me off. But that said, iCloud, Google, whatever email that you use, if you set up folders to archive your email, I have a recipe folder. So any recipe I like, I will email it to myself with the recipe in the body, possibly with a link to the original recipe, and then the subject is the title of the recipe. So I'll email it to myself, and someone wants a recipe, not only do I have it on my phone, but I have it queued up as an email, so I can go to my email. When I want to cook a recipe, I go to my email, I go to my recipe folder, I pull up the recipe, and if someone wants the recipe, bam, I forward it to them from my phone. It's so convenient.
It does sound convenient.
Yeah, you sound convenient.
You sound convenient. You know what else is convenient is Sarah Kramer's Go Vegan iPhone app.
Oh, hell yeah.
If you have an iPhone, I think you should just splurge. I know that $4 or whatever, that's kind of a lot for an iPhone app, but it's definitely worth it because you get a lot of recipes.
Yeah. Well,
and they're great.
$5 for what, 30 recipes? I mean, that's
something like that. It's a lot of recipes.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Well, I would like to mention one of my other favorite things. Now, we all know that the only vegan honey in existence is Honey LeBronc's. Agreed.
Agreed.
And there, and as of course, when I went vegan, I didn't realize at first. Oh my God, honey's not vegan. Oh my God, blah blah blah. Why is it not vegan? We all know why it's vegan. If you don't know why it's not vegan, Google it. Millions of reasons. My reason, never mind the fact that they kill bees for it. Never mind the fact that it rapes the environment, the way that we do commercial beekeeping. But the bees aren't making it for me. So it's inherently stealing for me to...
Yeah, I have to share this story. I was at Starbucks pretty early in veganism, and I was looking at the Kind bars just to see ingredients, and they all had honey in them.
Right.
And I just got really frustrated, and I sort of like threw the last one down, and I was like, ugh. And the guy behind the counter goes, what? What? I said, I was like, stupid Kind bar.
Yes.
And he's like, what's wrong with the Kind bar? And I was like, they have honey in them that's not very kind to the bees. Now, is it? And he said to me, it was so funny to look on his face. It like totally hit him. And he looked at me and he goes, we do steal that, don't we?
Right.
And I was like, oh my God, that's amazing that he's totally on the same page as me. But it's true, we're stealing it.
Right. It's such a good argument to make because, whether people, I think if you tell people that it's, that the bees are killed, they'll also understand that. But I feel like, kind of like, I shouldn't have to say I'm allergic to something. I should be able to say I'm ethically opposed. If you just tell people it's stealing, it challenges.
Yeah, well, bees are amazing too. They work so hard to make. They're like so fascinating.
They work hard for the honey.
They
so
do.
hard for the honey.
But also just like the whole like psychology and inner workings of bees. It's really complicated. There's a lot going on, and then it's like I don't know. It's if you think about it, it's kind of sick. It's like we make this false world where they think that it's like I don't know. We're really using them.
They work hard for the honey, so you best not stop their flight. I'm going to write it, girl. I'm going to write it. I'm going to get my life.
Stop their flight.
So, speaking of bees, speaking of honey, I always used to use I find that maple syrup is all I need as a honey replacer. I actually have this recipe for a honey sesame dressing that they used to make at an old restaurant of mine, which is basically equal parts of mayonnaise, sesame oil, and honey. And I thought, I can never have that again as a vegan. Well, vegan mayo, sesame oil, and any honey replacer, agave, maple syrup, it all works. And it comes out exactly the same. Try it.
I love agave.
Try it. It's an amazing dressing. Honey sesame dressing. It's mayo, sesame, and any honey replacement you want. But Laura and I were recently at the Vegetarian Food Festival here in New York City. And we saw the vegan bodega was there. They're trying to open a bodega on the Lower East Side of Manhattan that's entirely vegan. So check them out at veganbodega.com. They could definitely use your support. But anyway, one of the products, they were selling all these amazing products, which is why...
he always has the best stuff.
Yeah, which is why if they could actually open this bodega, it would be awesome because we'd have a place we could go in person and get the stuff. But
all the time.
Yeah.
All the time.
One of the things that happened that was the most amazing thing is they had bee-free honey. Now, I don't want to tell our listeners what it's made out of because...
Yeah, we discussed it.
It's only 3 things that it's made out of.
And we don't want you to know because it affects your enjoyment.
Right. Well, not negatively, but when I first had it, first off, when you squeeze it out of the bottle, it's like, oh my God, this is honey.
I know, it's just the texture.
The consistency is exactly like honey. And when I tasted it, I was like, this is exactly like honey. It's made from only 3 ingredients. One of those is cane sugar. One is a little lemon juice. The 3rd ingredient, you'll be like, no, it's made out of that. But once I know that that's what it's made out of, that's what I taste when I taste it.
Don't read the label.
So don't read the label. If you go to beefreehoney.com, they spell honey with 2 E's, no Y. So beefreehonee.com. There's a picture right there of the ingredient. So don't even go to the website.
Don't go to beefreehoney.com.
Don't go to beefreehoney.com. You can actually buy it online. There's a website called Pangea. Their website is veganstore.com.
That's also a great website if you haven't been there. I love it. I order from them all the time.
Yeah, they sell like everything.
Such a great source.
Yeah, if you go to veganstore.com, type in bee-free honey, Honee. Don't even look at what you're buying.
Just buy it.
It's like $4.95 for a bottle. Buy it. Don't even look at it. Just eat it and enjoy it. And if you want to know the secret ingredient that's made out of, but it couldn't be more natural.
It's not a secret.
It's not a
out
secret.
there.
It's not a secret. But it couldn't be more natural. It's something we all love and enjoy. But it's just so ingenious. And for me, when I taste it, now that's what I taste. But it's still...
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say it's my favorite honey replacement.
Yeah, I'm also going to say that I have found a few ways to eat it where I don't feel like I taste the ingredient that shall not be named.
Right.
I put it in tea, which is the number one thing I used to do with honey, is put it in hot tea.
Yeah.
Love beef-free honey in hot tea. It's so good.
Yeah.
And the other thing I do is I make peanut butter toast, and I'll put it on the peanut butter toast.
Yes.
It's great on the peanut butter toast. It's
Ooh,
totally,
I gotta try that.
it's just, it's totally reminiscent. It was exactly like having honey on peanut butter toast. So it is. I mean, texturally speaking, I'm sure it's excellent as a replacement for any salad dressing that requires honey. Same thing.
Yeah.
It's just so perfect. The texture is so perfect.
Well, and exactly that. The texture, agave nectar, maple syrup, they're not the same consistency or texture.
They're all runnier.
They're much thinner. So if you're going to make something that that needs to be thicker, have the consistency of honey, any other honey replacer is going to water down your ingredient. So if you want something nice and thick and delicious, use the beef-free honey. It's spot on.
Get it.
Get it, girl.
Get it.
So shall we talk about some big fat vegan food?
Yeah, sure.
Well,
So this segment, this big fat vegan food segment that Ben and I are going to do regularly on the podcast, is that we want to feature someplace that we went and enjoyed delicious vegan food. So if you know of a place that you would like us to check out, or if you are an owner of an establishment and you'd like us to come eat, just
for free,
or we'll pay for it.
or you can just give us something.
I like to support vegan business, Ben.
With a nice little 20% discount.
For free would be nice. But it's not required. But no, I mean, seriously, do let us know, and we'll come check it out, and then we will yak about it.
Hell
and
yeah.
let people know what we think.
Hell yeah. And we're going to let them know what we think about Dunwell Donuts.
Dunwell Donuts. Oh,
Girl.
Dunwell Donuts.
We went to Dunwell Donuts. I don't even remember, did we make a special trip out there just to go there?
Well, I sort of begged you to go.
You didn't have to beg me.
I was like, you were like, I don't remember what it was. We were just going to have a meeting and talk about the podcast. And I think we were just near the L train. I was like, do you want to go all the way into Williamsburg and eat vegan donuts?
Which is a question you didn't even have to ask me. But if you get off the L train at the Montrose stop, it's right.
It's Montrose.
Right.
It's Montrose.
Ever since the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous, I will always say Montrose.
Montrose.
Montrose. The Montrose. The Montrose. I don't know.
I know, but let's just, so people, in case they want to go.
At the Montrose stop.
It's Montrose.
Even my O sounds Midwestern.
Yeah, well.
You can take the girl out of the Midwest, but honey. Anyway.
And Dunwell Donuts opened earlier this year, I believe. No. Or at the end of last year.
And weren't they a Kickstarter?
They haven't been open yet a year. They had an Indiegogo campaign.
Yes.
And they raised a good chunk of money that way, I think. And I think they also had other, obviously, ways to fund their shop. And I had actually had their donuts at other places that had their donuts before they had a storefront. Mm-hmm. And so they were already known for being the vegan donut guys. Yeah. And I have to say that since they've gotten their storefront, I feel that their recipe has been perfected.
Yeah.
So I had them previously, and I didn't think they were the best thing I ever had. And those donuts we had at the shop, I thought they were the best donuts I ever had. Mm-hmm. They were so good. And they won Best Donut in the New York Daily News, which is incredible. That's against all traditional donut shops in New York City.
Well, I have to say, I've recently, Michael Heron and I went to a vegan donut shop, which I shall not name, and we had what was my first vegan donut in veganism, and I have to say, I was not feeling my fantasy. For that donut.
Vegan donut shop is there?
Well, let me just say that there's a few.
I didn't know that.
There's a couple of places that have vegan donuts, and honestly, when I had this donut, I was like, it's okay. But if I'm gonna go if I'm going to spend the calories on eating a donut, I want to be in donut heaven. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I've also recently learned the difference between a baked donut and a fried donut.
Okay. I don't know if they were baked or fried.
And a baked donut is, it has its place, and it very well can be enjoyed, but it is not a fried donut.
Well, at Dunwell Donuts, let me just say this, and I hate to use animal-based foods as the benchmark or as a comparison, but as an animal-based donut is what I am most used to growing up.
Well, but that's what the original donut is. That's what
Well,
you're trying to
yeah.
emulate.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with that being the benchmark.
Sure. Well, with that said, the donuts I had, which is to say every single donut made at Dunwell
Yeah, we
Donuts,
actually bought every single donut.
we basically had 6.5 donuts, which
We said we wanted one of each. That was
we
our
got one
order.
of each, and there was like 6 regular sized donuts, and then a smaller apple cinnamon donut, which I'm like, that's not getting away from us. So
I know, it's like a baby donut.
so we basically had 7 donuts. It was you, me, and our good friend Daniel. He's Ferro Boy on Twitter, Ferro Boy on Twitter.
Also a
and
lovely vegan.
also a lovely, passionate vegan. He is vegan enthusiasm personified. Anyway, between 3 friends, splitting 6.5 donuts, or splitting 7 donuts, is really only like each person having 2.3 donuts, which is really not as crazy as I thought we were being by having 7 donuts. But
Yeah, I know. I could have done it again.
they were amazing. I forget which one was our favorite.
I really liked the original, the old fashions.
And I'm
plain
normally
old-fashioned.
not like that, but I think the original old-fashioned donut was the best. Whether
It was really good. No, there was another one that was really good. It was kind of boozy.
I think
what
it was
was
like the Baileys or like the Irish cream.
I'm
or
like,
something
I'm
like
drunk.
that.
I don't remember.
I forget.
What was it?
I don't know, but they were all. I mean, even my least
Pina
favorite donut-
colada?
No, I would never have put anything pina colada flavored in my mouth.
No, that it
Disgusting.
wasn't something. It was that's stupid. That flavor sounds stupid. I don't remember what it was.
There was like a coconut covered one.
That was coconut.
Yeah. Well, anyway, we could. What? Shut up. No, I mean it had
Oh, wait a
coconut flakes
second,
all
Liz.
over it. I don't think it was entirely coconut flavor, but it had coconut flakes on it.
No, but there was one. It was so good, and it was a little boozy.
I feel like it was just like a coffee or a mocha flavored or some kind, or
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know, but they were all amazing and they tasted just like regular ass
Also, the
donuts.
chocolate frosted with the peanuts on it was super good.
Oh my god, yeah. While we were there, we saw a guy sitting behind us, and Laura, you recognized him. He was
Yes, he was sitting behind you, so he was facing me,
Mhm.
and I recognized him from the concrete catwalk videos on YouTube, which I love
yes,
because they're super funny.
yes.
And I only know of him as the discerning brute, and he's totally like a vegan fashion guy.
Not to mention a vegan heartthrob, but
Oh, he's totally handsome.
oh my god, his name is Joshua Ketcher, and he's an amazingly well dressed fashion guy. I actually met him at the vegan fashion show last year.
Or Honey met him.
When Honey met him, I performed there, and he gave me like a lookbook of like all these vegan fashions he makes. Funny, he actually makes these like they're not even faux furs. Like you know how someone has a faux fur? It's like a necklace, like a thing you wear around your shoulders. It's like a fox biting its own tail. He made those that they were like knit to look like a fox, but it's so clearly not the animal, but it's like made to resemble it, as if to show how ridiculous this is. But so he was there, and we didn't know how to break the silence and like.
Oh yeah, because Ben kept being like, "Let's go talk to him," and I was like, "No,
And I'll talk to anyone basically, but
I won't."
we had the perfect segue to talk to him because suddenly, in the middle of this, not vegetarian, not omnivorous.
No, this is a vegan donut shop.
And in walks this woman in a fur coat.
No, it was a vest. It was a rabbit fur vest.
Rabbit fur vest. I don't know that they were playing a vinyl record, but you suddenly heard a vinyl record screech to a halt.
Oh yeah, the record scratched.
And everyone basically stops. No one was using a fork, but suddenly everyone was paused, mouth open.
I double taked. I couldn't believe that she was in there.
Suddenly everyone was paused with their mouth open and a fork halfway between their mouth and their plate, even though they weren't using forks. And suddenly I turned
And so I made eye contact with him when that happened.
Yes.
With my jaw on the floor.
Yes. And that's when I turned around and I'm like, are we all thinking the same thing? And they're like, yes. And the funny thing is, this is the discerning brute. He's the guy with the if you haven't looked, pause us right now and go to YouTube and type in the concrete catwalk. He basically poses as this fashion editorial guy who's like interviewing people on the street about fashion, but he interviews people wearing fur coats as if like, oh my god, look at you. What animal are you wearing? Oh my god, was it anally electrocuted? Oh, this is fabulous. Pretending that he, basically making fun of these people and trying to.
And he really uses the fashion industry language to like mess with them. He'll be like, well, it's important to look good at any cost.
Yes. And he makes these people stop and acknowledge the inherent cruelty in what they're doing.
Yeah, and he will play little videos for them on his phone and stuff, and it's done really, really brilliantly.
Yeah,
it's done really well.
I don't know how many he has, but I feel like it's not nearly enough.
He was saying that he wants to do more videos like that, but that all the camera guys he knows are like too afraid of people freaking out.
I'll be a camera guy.
I know, right?
Oh my God. Well, it was a hugely entertaining video. And so it was really awesome running into him there. We have a Santa's Christmas bag full of listener mail.
Woohoo!
So as people know, you can find us at bigfatveganradio.com. And all of our methods of contact are listed there. You can call us at 315-VEGAN-01. That's 315-834-2601. You can also email us at bigfatveganradio@gmail.com. Tweet us at BigFatVegans, or we're on Facebook, Big Fat Vegan Radio. So please, interact with us. If you got shit to say, I'm right here. Come for me. What? You got something to say?
We're also interested in answering questions.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Oh, sure. We'll answer questions. We'll answer some questions.
We don't really necessarily want you to email us threats.
Seriously, though, I might, depending on what you email me, I might have to take my earrings out and put some Vaseline on my face. It's all I'm saying. I'm prepared. I'm prepared. But with that said, we have a question from a doctor. Dr. Ian McDonald. No relation to McDonald's, I'm assuming. He is a producer of The Vegan Option. It's a podcast. You can go to theveganoption.org. And shall I read his question?
Please.
Here's his email. With 2 hours of New York vegan banter appearing on my MP3 player every week, courtesy of Aaron Red and our hen house, I'm not sure how to fit in another vegan podcast with envy-inspiring anecdotes about New York vegan hotspots. Why should I make sure of catching yours? How is your show different to the other vegan podcasts? Cheers, Ian.
Thanks for your question, Ian.
Thank you, Ian.
I have to say, if you're only listening to 2 hours of podcasts a week, you do not have my commute.
Right.
I listen to so many podcasts.
Yeah. Also, if you only listen to 2 episodes of podcasts, clearly you don't go to the gym and you don't cook in your kitchen.
Yeah, I literally only listen to podcasts while commuting, and I still listen to probably like 15 hours a week or something.
And clearly you're not a photographer with photos to edit. I listen to my podcasts when I am in the shower. I have speakers in my bathroom that connect to my computer. And while I do that, I'm usually listening to Citizen Radio or Our Hen House or Red Radio or Mikey Pod or Vegetarian Food for Thought. There's so many podcasts. I probably listen regularly to at least 5 podcasts, at least. And I have no time. So I listen to them when I'm cleaning, when I'm commuting, when I'm walking, when I'm on the treadmill or at the gym. I mean, I listen to a lot of podcasts, so I don't think 2 hours is too much. But with that said...
But if you're a person with no commute and you're a person who prefers to listen to music than podcasts, I'm not going to say that I don't not understand that. However, Ben and I, I'm just being silly and saying that, like, you're just lucky you don't have to commute as much as I do. But Ben and I are only going to be releasing an episode of Big Fat Vegan Radio once a month right now.
Yeah.
We're committing to once a month that every episode will come out on the first of the month. Mm-hmm. And so it's a light commitment.
Right.
And if people want more episodes, hopefully we will be able to do it if people want more.
Absolutely.
And we'll be able to make it happen. That's the hope. Also, I think the main thing that's different is we're not trying to be like an information source in any way. We're not trying to like educate people in any way. We're just sort of talking about what we're thinking about and spreading vegan enthusiasm.
Absolutely. And I feel like, if I want to know what's going on in the world of animal rights news, you probably can finish the sentence and know what I'm about to say. I'll listen to Our Hen House because they are... Their podcasts come out very regular. Marianne Sullivan and Jasmine Singer, they are so up on the news. I mean, they basically are authorities in the animal rights. I mean, Marianne Sullivan's an animal rights lawyer, so there you go. For me, I feel like we're just 2 everyday vegans who get to talk about our experience and what we're discovering on our vegan journey. So, I mean, veganism is so different for each person. And, you know,
I think we're also trying to use our regular veganness to point out that, I mean, my goal is always to show everybody how regular it is to be vegan, how, you know, every day it is, how fun it is. It's totally like, for some reason, I thought that vegan people were all like, I don't know, like weird, extreme freak shows.
Right. And
like,
some are.
I didn't think, oh, absolutely. But I didn't think that, like, there were just, like, average vegans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just didn't think that, like, I don't know. I just didn't think that, I don't know. I thought that you'd always be able to spot a vegan, I guess is what I mean. And ultimately, that anybody can be vegan. Anybody can make it work in their life. I love the idea of we're just here to spread the love and to talk about it, and really also, but to answer questions, because people have really simple questions that, I mean, it's just really true that you discover the answer to when you're doing it yourself.
Yes, indeedy. And secondly, this podcast has a vegan drag queen on it.
Amen.
So there you go. So
also, I am the fashion police.
Right, you are. Which terrifies
that's
me.
For actually my title.
She is actually known as the fashion police. Look her up in Us Weekly magazine. She's there.
I'm in there every other week.
She's there, yeah. And which terrifies me because I did not become a drag queen because I have a sense of fashion. I have all the fashion sense of a lesbian camping trip. So I don't
actually dress well, but I'm really good at judging other people for how they dress.
I'm just good at judging other people.
Yeah, that's all you need to be the fashion police.
Exactly. Well, that's what you need to be as a vegan. But speaking of all the questions people have, we have another email question that comes to me from actually a friend of mine, Peter Sullivan. Peter Sullivan asks, what are the best vegan sources of protein? Let me know if this question's already been asked a million times. It seems like it would be the most common one, seeing as how it's the most common one I get.
Yeah, I think it's really good that he asked because it is the most common question you get.
Yes.
I think primarily because that's the only nutrient people associate with meat. When you eliminate it, you automatically think, but how do I get that nutrient? I've been told that nutrient's important.
And yes, Peter, the question has been asked a million times, but not of us, since this is our inaugural episode.
We would say this is the one and only time.
This is the one and only time I've never been asked that before.
And since we're answering it, hopefully no one will ever ask again.
And, right. Amen. And if I may be the one to kick off the answer to this.
Please, yes.
I've mentioned Tim Van Orden. He has a wonderful YouTube video. If you YouTube Tim Van Orden, VANORDEN, The Protein Myth, to grossly paraphrase what he says, people are like, where do you get your protein? Where do you get your protein? I don't get my protein. Sure, but you can get it from beans and legumes. He's like, I don't eat beans. I don't eat legumes. I don't eat such and such. I don't eat seeds. Humans, this is going to shock you. It shocked me. Humans have no nutritional requirement for protein. Humans have no nutritional requirement for protein. When I heard this, I wanted to grab either a pitchfork or a torch and take to the streets with townspeople in whatever direction he lives.
Storm the castle.
Because I'm like, no, that's wrong. Here's the thing. You eat protein, your body takes it apart into amino acids, and then reassembles those amino acids into protein. So your body basically makes protein out of amino acids. If you eat protein, your body has to take it apart into amino acids and make protein from that. So all you need are amino acids. Where do we get amino acids? From enzymes. Where do we get enzymes? From live food. What is live food? Spinach. What is live food?
Uncooked food
Kale.
is live food.
Raw, uncooked food. So if you eat your raw, uncooked produce, you're getting enzyme-rich, live, whole foods.
Fruit is full of enzymes.
The fruit, vegetables that are full of enzymes, that are full of amino acids. You eat that, you get all the amino acids you need. This guy is a raw vegan athlete. He came in second place in the Sears Tower climb. And first off, the kid that came in first place ate a Snickers bar before doing it, and he passed out and threw up at the top. Tim Van Orden, that kid was 21. Tim Van Orden was in his 30s, got to the top of the tower, he's like, woo, yeah, I'm breaking a bit of a sweat, and he just eats freaking produce. So you don't need protein. You need amino acids and live enzymes. That aside, To answer where can you get protein, first off, you can get protein, anything that is dark leafy green is full of protein. Secondly, go ahead and read the China study or watch Forks Over Knives, and you'll learn that it's a huge myth that we need as much protein as people say that we need. We do not need as much protein.
Also, it's important to mention the perfect protein misconception, which has, I shouldn't say misconception, but whatever. It was believed to be true, and now it's been proven that it has been incorrect.
Right. In fact,
so if people tell you about that whole pairing foods to get the perfect protein, meat's the only perfect protein you need, you just tell them they need to read up, because those studies have been reevaluated,
rescinded, basically. The woman,
it's incorrect.
The woman who originally published that theory, I think in the 70s or 80s, again the Dark Ages, she later rescinded her own comments. So
Kathy Freston goes over it really well in Veganist. I'm a big Kathy Freston fan.
So all that said, we don't even need as much protein as people think we do. Read the China study, watch Forks Over Knives, and they'll go into it. But when protein as a nutrient was discovered, people thought, oh wow, we must need tons of this. How much? I don't know. Tell them you need this much, because it's associated with animal-based foods. So but
everybody also rounds up, because you need something like 0.4 or 0.3 grams of protein per pound.
Yeah.
Of our bodies, and everybody rounds it up to 1. So, for instance, you need 1 gram of protein per pound.
Just not true.
It's like, do not round up to 1. This is a huge roundup.
Right. I'm no authority, but if you need any amount of protein, I think it's somewhere between like 30 and 50 or 60 grams a day. That's plenty. That's more than enough. P.S. You have too much protein, you're taxing your kidneys. So that said.
Well, some people want to bulk up and they want to up their protein. So, Ben, you should talk about that, because you work out a lot.
Thank you. Why I do. I'm actually feeling my pecs as I say this.
I am not the person to field this question, because I don't exercise at all.
You do have bigger pecs than me, so I will say that.
I have bigger pecs than everybody.
Yeah, but I recently started working out again, for me, I like to work out. I like to work out hard. I like to put on some muscle, and in about 7 or 8 weeks now that I've been back at the gym, I've actually packed on quite a bit of muscle, and more than I ever packed on as a non-vegan, I have to say. And where am I getting my protein? Every time I go to the gym, I take with me not a regular Cliff bar, which has 10 grams of protein in it, but they have the Cliff Builder bars, which are completely vegan. It does say on the label, may contain traces of dairy, whatever, because they're made in a facility that's not entirely dairy-free. When people say that, I think it's just a liability thing. So they're like, look, in case you're deathly allergic.
For allergies.
Yeah, in case you're deathly allergic, don't sue us if you have a reaction. But it doesn't contain any animal-based products, not even honey. So I have the Cliff Builder bars, which have 20 grams of protein. There's also Primal Spirit makes these vegan jerky strips. They have teriyaki, hickory smoked, mesquite lime, Texas barbecue, Thai peanut. They even now, this is like news, this just in, days ago, they now have a pepperoni stick. And these all have about, I know. And they're like dirt cheap. You can get them at Whole Foods for like $1.39 each. So 10 grams of protein in one jerky strip. So I get 2 jerky strips. That's 20 grams right there.
That's a lot.
That's like $1.39 plus a Cliff Bar, which it's 12 of them to a box for $16. So that's also like $1.39.
It's also pretty affordable.
If we round up, that's a Cliff Builder bar and 2 vegan jerky strips for like $4.50, and bam, that's 40 grams of protein. I also use rice protein. There's a protein powder made by Nutribiotic. They have a rice protein. I get the vanilla flavored. 12 grams of protein in 1 heaping tablespoon. I always put 2 heaping tablespoons in my 1.5 liter size bottle of water, and I sip that during my workout, so I don't have as much pain the next day, and it also helps me get more muscle growth if I sip protein while I'm working out. That's 24 grams of protein, so bam. Every time I go to the gym, I basically, within about a 2 or 3 hour period, I'm consuming 64 grams of cheap, vegan, quality protein, and I am packing on muscle pretty quickly. So, booyah.
Yeah, and that's pretty amazing, actually. But I'll just say that just from, the point of view is I'm not trying to build any muscle, I don't work out or anything. And I don't actually think about my protein intake that much. But the things that I do eat really regularly, pretty much on a daily basis, I eat almond butter or peanut butter.
Yeah.
I eat black beans almost every day. I eat hummus almost every day.
Oh, I love it.
And then I also try to have dark greens. If I don't actually eat greens, I try to drink a green juice every day.
Yeah.
So I'm getting protein through all those things in one way or another.
Yeah.
And so, I've never felt protein deficient. I take a multivitamin that has B12 in it.
Yep.
And sometimes I'll even supplement extra B12, which is fine because it's water soluble. You can never take too much. Honestly, your concern is B12, I think, more than protein ultimately.
Yeah, exactly.
And what's interesting to me is that I never took a multivitamin before I was vegan, and I certainly did not eat well before I was vegan.
Yeah.
So it's funny to me that I'm much more conscious about that stuff now because I'm thinking about it now. So, you want to make sure you have a really good multivitamin that has, there's a bunch of them that are made for vegans. So you just get one of those and you're going to be all set.
And P.S., non-vegans who make stupid arguments against veganism, they care so much about but if you don't get B12, you're going to die. You need your vitamin B12. First off, I take a pill for it. I supplement it. But secondly, you care so much about my B12. You didn't really care a whole heck of a lot when my cholesterol was in the mid 200s. When my triglycerides were through the roof. People in my family have suffered from heart disease and stroke for a long time. No one seems to care.
No one asked me where I got my fiber before.
When I said, I'll have extra cheese and bacon on that burger, no one seemed to care what I was doing to my health back then. But, I'm going vegan.
True.
Yeah.
But fiber, that's my favorite one. One of my friends from high school said, if anybody asks you where you get your protein, you should ask them where they get their fiber. They will be dumbfounded.
Yes, exactly, because people aren't really fiber conscious.
Yeah, not at all.
I'm just going to say I know I get more than enough fiber.
I think I get too much sometimes.
So thank you, Peter, for that lovely question. And
thank you, Peter.
Yes. So we have, do you want to go ahead and read our tweet?
I'd love to. This tweet is from Dean Johnson. He's at Dean G. Johnson. It's a tongue twister.
Mm-hmm.
And his tweet it's a little abbreviated because he was trying to make it fit in the characters. So don't judge his grammar, okay?
Okay.
Going vegan easy? How can I tell what's ethically sourced or what uses animal products in the processing? Seems hard.
Okay.
That's a great question, Dean.
It's a great question. Could I kick this one off?
Please.
The initial question he asks is going vegan easy? And he's trying to make a case, it seems, that it's not easy because how do you know if it's ethically sourced or what uses animal products in the processing? For example, sugar that might be processed through bone char or whatever. And it seems hard. I'm just interpreting his question here. Seems hard as if to go vegan, you need to know about all these things. Otherwise, you're not vegan.
Yeah, or you're doing it imperfectly.
Is that the impression you get from this question?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your take on this?
My take on this is that I'm worried, Dean, that you're a little concerned with perfection.
Yes.
Which is really not what being vegan is about.
No.
To me, being vegan is about intention.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as I'm concerned, if you are a person who does not eat any animal products, you're a vegan person.
Yes.
If you're making a conscious effort daily to never consume animal products, you're a vegan person.
Yes.
Now there's a lot of other issues that we could get into, but I don't think it's necessary.
Right.
You want to make sure that you're, there's a lot of problems with fair trade, especially with certain products like chocolate. You really should eat fair trade chocolate, right? But that's the ethically sourced issue there. But you're not an imperfect vegan if you don't eat fair trade chocolate. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
If you eat, just some dark chocolate you bought or whatever.
I'm saying yes. I'm saying I'm agreeing. But the truth is, I took my earphones out and I ran away to go to my room to grab a bumper sticker so I can read this from animaliaqualia.com. Whatever. Anyway, it says veganism, an ethic, lifestyle, and diet that seeks to exclude the use of animals for food, clothing, entertainment, experimentation, or any other purpose. Now let me say that seeks to exclude the use of animals. So for me, to be vegan does not mean I am 100% perfect or not. I mean, I'm using a MacBook Pro right now to record this podcast. There is some kind of connective muscle tissue from a pig inside the keyboard for the electrical conductivity purposes. Okay, that's not vegan. Guess what? There's no vegan laptops. Guess what? I need a laptop.
Oh yeah, it's the same thing with like medication. If anyone's on medication, or like I have had surgery and I have implants in both of my feet.
Yes.
I mean, should I not have surgery because the doctor probably learned dissecting a pig? I mean, that's ridiculous.
Right. I have a friend who's vegan, who's very active, passionate vegan longer than me, who's got multiple sclerosis, and he takes a prescription to save his life that he knows came as a result of animal testing.
Yeah, well, most medications that people live on, I mean, we're a vivisection society, so
yes,
it's a very real thing.
Would the animals be better off if he died because he refused to take his medication?
Of course
or
not.
if he stayed alive and healthy so he could fight to advocate for animals? So, I mean, Dean, basically, yes, going vegan is easy. Yes, there's a bit of a learning curve in learning how to do it in a way that's right and that works for your lifestyle.
And also I think as you learn more, like I've learned how much the fair trade chocolate thing means to me, so I may really make an effort to eat fair trade chocolate.
Yeah.
But if you learn different things and the different things will be important to you, that'll be what you want to do.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? Like for example, I don't really wear makeup. I know a lot of vegan women are really passionate about animal testing and makeup industries and, supporting companies that don't do animal testing or whatever. I mean, I could care less because I don't use it.
And I don't know yet that all of my...
How does Honey feel about animal testing?
I don't know yet that all my makeup for drag is vegan. I do know that the Elmer's glue stick, the disappearing purple glue stick, or the regular glue stick that I use to cover my eyebrows. P.S. Drag queens cover their man eyebrows with glue, and then they use makeup over that and they draw their eyebrows on higher, unless they're bricks. But anyway, a brick is a term for an ugly drag queen with a mannish face, unlike me.
I didn't know that. Thank you.
But yeah, I looked at Elmer's website because I was like, maybe I can find a vegan glue stick. Guess what? All of Elmer's glue products are vegan, and they go right out and say it. I don't think they use I don't think they use the vegan word, but they say all of our products are free of animal products or testing. So that's wonderful.
I mean, it's also it's like that panic attack you have when you realize that for me, I realized that like half my shoes are made of leather or half my bags were leather, and I was like, oh, so I can't say I'm vegan until all these bags are gone. That's ridiculous.
Right.
Like no way.
When you can afford to buy a new bag, you'll buy one that's vegan, and then you'll let go of the old one.
Yeah, the other thing I say is if it's bothering you, get rid of it. Because I had a down winter coat and the feathers would stick out of it sometimes, and it was really upsetting me. So I made it a priority and I got a different coat.
That was the animal's way from beyond the grave of getting your attention.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like you're there. If it's not bothering you,
right,
then just use it till it's used up
then
or
you
whatever.
have no soul.
But it's the same thing with that, like what you just said about the box saying, processed in a facility that also processes milk or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's on a lot of boxes. I'm not worried about that.
Right.
I'm not worried about that kind of perfection.
And I'm not there yet with my makeup, but I hope to soon find all makeup that's all,
I'm sure you
vegan.
can.
And I'm sure I can.
I think drag queens need different stuff than women do, though.
Oh, God,
I know it's more complicated for you.
Honey, it's called Gillette. But in the meantime, being a drag queen has helped me to get the word out about animal rights and veganism and cooking. So I feel like I'm able to help fight for the animals as a drag queen. Like, should I just not be a drag queen until I'm certain? No, don't wait to do it perfectly. I mean, heck, when I first wanted to be vegan, I went vegetarian for 6 months. I was still eating, eggs and dairy, until eventually I was ready to go vegan. So it's like Colleen Patrick Goudreau says, don't do nothing because you can't do everything. Do something, anything. And what she means by that is make a start, wherever you're able to make a start. If it means that you just do a meat-free Monday or that you just eliminate red meat or land animals, start where you can. Believe me, your consciousness will expand, and
it's also
veganism
funny.
is a progressive journey.
Yeah, like also because like Kathy Preston says all the time, she says you got to lean into it. I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
you lean into this lifestyle, and you will figure it out. It's like
said, Kathy Preston.
She's great. Yeah,
I just got a craving out of nowhere for some peanut butter crunch, which is vegan, by the way.
The Captain Crunch?
Yes.
Yeah, I really think I'm about to go to the corner store and buy some dessert item.
Well, before you do that, we have one last user mail. We have a voicemail from Dia Roberts. I'm so excited about this because Dia Roberts is the mom of Ethan Dussault, who was on my Vegan Drag Queen cooking show. He and Kristen LaJeunesse from Will Travel for Vegan Food, WTFveganfood.com. They came on the show to make some blueberry smoothies with me. And
they were on the Vegan Zombies show, too.
That's right. Oh, I'm so jealous.
I'm jealous of her. She met the Vegan Zombie. He is so cool. Also, we should just say that Dia Roberts left us this lovely voicemail by calling our phone number. So don't be afraid to call our phone number.
Please call us, 315-VEGAN-01. I don't know about y'all, but I love when I can actually play our listeners' voicemail for you guys. So let's get to Dia's voicemail. Dia, go ahead.
Hello, my beautiful big fat vegan who's not fat. This is Dia Roberts. I am Ethan Dussault's mom, and I was the very happy hostess for Will Travel for Vegan Food for a couple of weeks, where I got really wonderful vegan food by Kristen and Ethan, who did quite a bit of cooking and spoiled me. They converted me, and now I'm trying to be a very good vegan. And here's a question. I live with a carnivore. Some would say omnivore. If you've met my beautiful wife, Dale, you would say carnivore. I need snackies to keep in my refrigerator that are kind of like a tuna fish spread or something that has a lot of depth to it so that I can pull it out and she doesn't go, really? It's another bean dip. So I don't know, just asking. And if you would like to give me a shout out, I am the crazy wedding officiant that helped Andy and Gina get Lake County, Illinois to follow the law for civil unions. So if you want to give me a shout out at diaroberts.com and that would be really cool. Okay, that's my story and I'm sticking to it.
Thank you, Dia. That's such a. I've never met her, but I just want to hug her after hearing her question. So, I don't know about you, Laura. It took me a long time as a non-vegan to learn to like seafood, and like tuna was like the one thing I never had an interest in. It just kind of grossed me out.
Yeah, I don't really like tuna fish either.
But with that said, I did do a little research on this, and I have two answers for you. Not to send you to some other woman's cooking shows on YouTube, but there is a really cool sort of Asian-based cooking show on YouTube called Vegan Minute. If you look for Vegan Minute on YouTube, vegkitchen.com is their site. They have all these short little videos, and they have a tofuna, T-O-F-U-N-A, like a tofu-based tuna that's basically just made out of tofu, celery, and mayonnaise. That's basically it. You don't even need to go because I just gave you the recipe. But also, there's a really cool girl I just discovered on YouTube, like yesterday, Eco Vegan Gal on YouTube, ecoveganfood.blogspot.com. She has a video, vegan tuna salad using chickpeas. Search for that.
That's what I do, yeah.
Yeah. And it's basically like a 3-minute long video. Basically, the recipe is just chickpeas, mayo, celery, some pickles or some relish, and then optional to give it a more of a seafood kind of flavor. Add some dulse flakes or some kelp. But it's I
don't think it needs that.
Probably not, because I've noticed sometimes chickpeas kind of has a sort of tuna-y flavor to begin with.
It's just the texture you get from when you pulse the chickpeas in the food processor.
Yeah.
It's delicious.
Yeah.
And it's and you can if you're lazy, I mean usually what I do is I pulse the chickpeas and chop the celery in the food processor, and then I just add like the dill, garlic, miso mayo, and then I don't even have to add any seasoning. It's just flavored.
Where do you get that?
Whole Foods.
Okay. And the cool thing about this recipe is it's really versatile. She lists all these options, like you can add some of this, you can add some soy sauce, you can add some nutritional yeast.
Well, yeah, because once you pulse the chickpeas, then you can just really treat it like that's your can of tuna.
Yeah.
You just do whatever you would do to the tuna salad.
I don't know why that sounds like an expression to me, but like, you know what? That's just my can of tuna, okay?
It's just my can of tuna.
That's just my can of tuna, girl. I don't know about your can of tuna, but that is just my can of tuna.
But I was also going to say that if, for other like snacky kind of things you're looking for, how about guacamole?
Right.
Or you can make like a chopped, since summer's coming, you can do like chopped, like a really chunky like salsa with like pieces of mango and like, or like a pico de gallo kind of thing with, that's all totally non-bean dippy.
Right. You lost me at mango. I don't like the taste of mangoes, but oh well.
You are so weird.
Well, they smell farty
The
to
things
me.
you don't like are delicious.
Mangoes have farty
Ben, you don't like mango,
scent.
you don't like coconut, you don't like cilantro, you don't like mushrooms.
Oddly, my favorite thing to make is a dip made of mango, cilantro, coconut, and mushroom. Really good.
You're like a dip made of mango, coconut, mushroom.
I will allow it.
Those are delicious things.
You're delicious things.
Thanks.
Guess what else is delicious?
What?
The fact that that's our show.
That's our show.
That was episode 1 of Big Fat Vegan Radio.
Oh, wow. Is there anything you want to tell people about before we go?
I do. I want to make a few shameless plugs here. Honey LeBronx is coming to Philadelphia, people.
How exciting.
Yes, I actually made a little link for the info. I'm going to be performing at Taboo Lounge and Sports Bar in Philadelphia. You can get all the information at tinyurl.com/honey Taboo. That's HONEYTABU. And also, if you go to my YouTube page, there's a video. Just look up Honey LeBronx Taboo or Honey LeBronx Philadelphia commercial. I made a little commercial with all the information, but it's basically a benefit for the Peace Advocacy Network. If you go to peaceadvocacynetwork.org, they are an awesome. I recently did an interview on Red Radio and also on Eating Consciously, both of those podcasts, about my connection between gay rights and animal rights. And I never knew at the time about the Peace Advocacy Network, but they basically are a group that advocates for both. So they fight for LGBT causes, they fight for animal rights causes, they're working to ban the horse carriage industry in Philadelphia, they offer a 30-day vegan pledge to try to get people to try veganism. And Ed Coffin, who interviewed me for Eating Consciously, he's putting me up. I'm staying with him and his partner while I'm out there, and he's organizing all this because he's a huge supporter and member of the Peace Advocacy Network. So I'm really excited. I'm going to be joined by 2 local drag queens, Summer Clearance and Thunder Showers. So come see it. Even if you're not in the Philadelphia area, that ain't no excuse. You can find a train, a boat, or a plane, and you can come on and see me. So come check me out. Also, Honey LeBronx will be marching in the Veggie Pride Parade on Sunday, May 27th at noon. Go to veggieprideparade.org for more information. Of course, as always, you can see my Vegan Drag Queen cooking show at vegandragqueen.com. If you'd like to see Honey LeBronx performing around town, you can always go to honeylebronx.com and click on appearances to see any gigs that I have coming up. And that's it for me.
Which is like all the time.
Yeah, all the time. And I'm usually at Stonewall about once a month doing the Stonewall Riot Dance Party and Drag Show as a benefit for Queer Rising, queerrising.org for more info. But if I'm ever going to be somewhere, you'll know about it by going to honeylebronx.com and clicking on appearances. How about you, Laura?
Nope.
Nothing?
I got nothing. You can check out my jokes on Us Weekly.
Okay.
It's every other week. Yeah, people can always check me out doing the V Hollywood Report on Red Radio. I write the Fashion Police for Us Weekly, and then I have an entertainment blog, which is just laurayaz.blogspot.com, which I try to keep silly.
Okay, work it out.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all we've got today for Big Fat Vegan Radio.
Yeah, work it out. Let us know, you guys, what you thought about this episode on our Facebook page. You can also send us a tweet or leave us a voicemail. We'd love to hear from you. You can go to bigfatveganradio.com to see how to interact with us. And thank you, Laura Yaz, for making vegan podcast history with me today.
Thank you, Ben Strothman.
And I just want to tell everyone to have a great day. And, one One more thing, you guys, if you're listening, there's just one thing I want you to do. If you can, if you have a minute, like you don't have to do it right away, but if you get a chance, go vegan! Thanks, so guys. We're gonna play you out with a special song, "Toxic" by Christopher Dallman.
Baby, can't you see I'm calling? A guy like you should wear a warning. It's dangerous, I'm falling. There's no escape, I can't wait. I need a hit, baby, give me it. You're dangerous, I'm loving it. Too high, can't come down. It's in the air and it's all around. Do you feel me now? With a taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under a taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do. Don't you know that you're toxic? It's getting late to give you up. I took a sip from my devil cup. Slowly it's taking over me. Too high, can't come down. It's in the air and it's all around. Can you feel me now? With a taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under a taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do. Don't you know that you're toxic? Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. Intoxicate me now with your loving now. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. I think I'm ready now. With a taste of your lips, I'm on a ride. You're toxic, I'm slipping under a taste of a poison paradise. I'm addicted to you, don't you know that you're toxic? And I love what you do. Don't you know that you're toxic?